Alright, check these voltages. Take a look at these voltages. I'll leave it up there for a while and you can pause it if you want to, but look at the voltages. They are really, really close. So I feel really good about those. And on that that tube, what is that? The 6F5, the 80 volt that's on the plate. That's the case where you put the loading resistor. I put a 255K is what I had instead of 250K, and it read 86.3. So, and it was supposed to read 80. So I feel real good about that. It seemed like I had a little bit of noise in the tuning condenser, and so I ran some little sheet of veneer through each of the plates, and I blew it out with some compressed air, and it took care of it, I believe. One of the hazards of testing and things like that is, as I was working with this and what have you, some of the wires are becoming cracked, and it concerns me. I don't think they're showing yet, but what I'm going to do is, while I've got it here, I'm going to go ahead and take it back apart and take each wire off and put heat shrink on it just to protect it. I just think that's the right thing to do at this point. Got these heat shrinked. I think they'll be okay. I've cleaned all the tube sockets, and I'm going to check this tube socket on the bottom side. The pins feel a little loose. I'm going to see what's going on with that. You don't want to squeeze these too much, but you can collapse them just a little bit to make sure that they fit tight on the pins of the tube. Sometimes they get sprung a little bit, you know, especially when you do the wiggling the tubes. Everybody wiggles tubes. Anybody that works on these wiggles tubes. Guarantee they do. Let's put this together now. This ring here, all this mechanism is held on by a little ring that the floor monster is probably going to get before it's over with. Care must be taken not to let the floor monster get this. So thought I'd go ahead and try to put this on and just set it to the witness marks. There's some witness marks here, here, and here, which the way it's indicated will be up like this, which it's on the broadcast band. I think I can adjust it if it's not okay when I get the front on. Okay, let's see if we can get the rest of this stuff put back together. Okay, scratch that plan. That's not going to work. You're going to have to do it this way, Albert. That has to go in at the same time, and that ring here keeps this from coming back this way, and I'm not sure if the back has to keep it from playing back and forth like this. So I'm going to have to put the ring on here, then go back here and tighten that up. Let me look and see. Got to make sure that this shaft or this pulley aligns with this drive pulley down here, and it does. So okay, let me put this. Where'd that ring go? Did you guys see where that ring went? I put it in my bowl. All right, you bucks. Let's see if I can get that on there without losing it. What do you think? You think that's possible? I think I gotta at least lose it once, don't I? You want me to do this on camera? I'm gonna film it. I might not put it on, but I'm gonna film it. Yikes. The camera is actually in my way. I can't see it. I actually squeezed this down a little bit to make it tighter because it was loose. Now it may not even go on at all. I'm gonna have to ape it. I'm getting too old to ape stuff now. My hands are in the way. I don't know if this is any value to anybody. I used a bigger set of pliers, got it on. Now, I believe that this has got to not be tight, but it's got to keep this from doing all this number. So, but you can't have it too far forward because of the dial itself. I've tightened this up, and as you can see, I've got it pushed to where this shaft, the tuning drive, won't pull out. It's against this. So what I have seen is the belt, and I tell you what, this spring has hung in every hole and underneath the bottom of this cabinet. If I wanted it to, I couldn't. But that idler shaft, to me, I've looked at some pictures and it looks like it's backwards to me, anyway. This idler actually pushes out on the belt. You would think it would push inward on the belt, but it actually pulls out on the belt. This is the belt. It's an O-ring. I don't know what material that is, but it's been welded here. And I've already put it on, and it is strictly just tight. So there's got to be some stretching. There's some tension on it. But before I put the belt on, I've got to put this on. And if you'll remember, there was 4 screws here. All right, let's see if we can put this in here. And there's that spring, it's hung again. If I was falling off a cliff and I needed an extension cord or a rope or anything to catch to keep me from falling off that cliff, it would never, ever, never, ever catch me. But you let me be walking in the room or in the yard or something, and it'll catch on anything and everything. Has that ever happened to y'all? All right. See if we can roll that up there. Okay, you guys see this? I think you can see this. But this idler, which slides back, the spring, this idler let's see. Try to get you some light, try to get you in here. I mean, it'll work just like that. But this idler comes over this way and pushes out that way. And the spring comes over and attaches to this hole. Let me get a better angle. I don't know how much footage of this I'm going to be able to keep because of my hands in the way. But let me pull this knob off here. There's a hole right there. From all the pictures I've seen from other people, that's where it goes. And the idler actually pushes out on the belt, and that doesn't make any sense to me, but you know, I didn't design it. Now if I get in your way, I apologize right now, but I don't know of any other way to do this. I'm making this up as I go, by the way, and y'all are along for the ride. I'll tell you a story, kind of make it better. If y'all remember Bill, one of my mentors down in Alabama, worked at NASA, had a 6th grade education. He was in charge of developing a system to recycle body waste. And pretty much urine. So he had been working on that, and this is for deep space travel and all that good stuff. And so he had been working on that. Well, people got to drinking his coffee and wouldn't, make another pot of coffee. Well, guess what he started making his coffee out of? And needless to say, they did not drink his coffee anymore. True story. Now, I heard y'all said, why don't you use your dental tool, Mary? Quit making it hard. Yeah. I just want to tell that story. I had it in there. It's like watching chimps learn to use tools for the first time, isn't it? All right. That's in there. I got tension on that. Let me pan back a little bit. Okay, trying to get an angle where you can see. Of course, this is your band switch. And then this is your tuning. And it is turning the tuning condenser. So now we need to get ready to put that dial on. So we'll run it. I don't know if there's a calibration mark on that dial or not. We'll have to look at it. Let me get it and we'll put it on. All right, you know that this goes on and those little rivets kind of just pop in there. Let's see if everything lines up okay on this. Let's get the holes lined up. Can you see the word broadcast in there? Yeah, I think you can. Medium, short. All right. I think it's going to be okay. All right, let's pop these things in. I guess you learn as you go sometimes. When I went to put the front dial on, this bottom one would not go in there because this was too close. I thought it was to hold this shaft on, but it was to go further back. So I had to take everything off to tighten it, to redo it, and then put it back on. So now we're back where we started. Now I can put this on, and hopefully all this lines up. Let me get front on. Yeah, it lines up front. Okay. All right then. Let me pop them in. Got the front on, and reading the alignment procedure, which I am going to align it. I probably won't do it on video, but the way it says, calibrate the tuning dial by adjusting the main dial pointer to the low frequency end calibration mark on the dial with the gain tuning condenser plates in the fully meshed position. Then adjust the small vernier dial pointer to 0. These are friction adjustments. So I really didn't know where the mark was, but I set it on that mark there and the small one on 0. And then I turned the radio on and went around, and it tracked to where it should. The station showed up where they should without doing anything. So we're good with that. Let me show you something else I did. A little speaker repair. Just took a little glue, did it on both sides. That'll dry a little clear. Let me show you what I did with the eye tube. That may not look like a whole lot, but my wife had some exercise tubing, stretch tubing, you know, you hang over a door or something, I don't know, and it's just surgical tubing is all it is. And so I cut a little piece of it off and made a little gasket go around there to keep the tube secure, and it works okay. Remember the knob that had the JB weld? Well, the JB weld fell out of it. So what I did is I took and put a piece of paper around it and put some more JB weld in there and let it set up. And a little discolored, but it's closer to round now. See if it'll fit now. See if it'll fit. Make sure I get it right. Oh yeah, I think that's going to work fine. I think that's going to work really good. Need to clean these knobs up a little bit. Got it back in the cabinet. Aligned it before I did. And give you a little look. Tried to capture, just kind of keep it simple. But I found a couple of dial lights. Let me put it on the stand and run through the band.
So it's like everything that surrounded me bed. The door was used. God is wonderful. Before an attacking cat, the baby bird shivering behind her while the cat snatched the faithful mother with its paw and killed it.
All right, I think that's going to do this series. I really enjoyed this one. I really like this radio, and I think my wife likes it even better. She's looking for a table to put it up in the main living area. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is well during this period of time. And y'all stay safe out there. And until next time, from Larry, from the hills of Tennessee, thanks for watching.
Yes, you're driving me crazy. What